Hello everyone, welcome to Court with Krissy. What happens when babies have babies and the adults can't act like adults? This. And is it just me, or is the 15-year-old teen mom living with baby daddy? I blurred her identity since she is so young. I hope you like it. Court with Krissy is now in session.
Harris.
Okay. It's 24 CR 005546F, Malik Harris, charged of 1 count of battery, family violence. Pre-trial.
Second arrest, 2023 out of Florida. Possession of amphetamine with the intent to sell or deliver. Possession of a controlled substance without prescription. That's all. I think it was dismissed too.
Okay.
Sir, this is my son first time ever being arrested.
Excuse me. Ma'am, you don't interrupt my court that way, and you just don't start talking without permission. Okay, so stay muted. And I see that you're on there. You've put a message in the chat, and I will get to you when it's appropriate. But unless you were a witness and you're just the mom, I'm probably not going to allow you to talk. But please do not interrupt me or my court. Thank you. All right, go ahead, state.
Thank you, Your Honor. Officers arrived at the incident location and spoke with the victim, Sakira Shelby, who advised that she called 911 because she had a physical dispute with the father of her child, the defendant. She went to the incident location to pick up her clothing from the defendant's home, but he refused to let her inside. The parties started arguing and the defendant punched her in the face, which led to them fighting. At some point, the victim fell to the ground and injured her wrist. Officers did observe a scratch on the victim's wrist. The defendant admitted to officers that he did hit the victim. The victim in this case is 15 years old and the parties share a 5-month-old son. Our office has spoken with the victim, who stated that the defendant also broke her phone. So she's currently using her friend's phone, and that is how we contacted her. She stated they were in a relationship and they did live together, but they're not living together anymore. The incident location is the defendant's mother's residence. She confirmed the events in the warrant and stated this is not the first time the defendant has been violent towards her. She stated the defendant had been violent towards her at least 6 or 7 times in the past, but she didn't call the police because the defendant told her calling the police would be pointless and they weren't going to do anything. Some of those past incidents of violence did occur in front of the party's child. She stated that she's now staying with a friend and she wants contact for the sake of their child. The state's recommendation is a $3,000 surety bond. Given our conversation with the victim, our recommendation is no further contact. I do not believe the child is legitimated, but at the victim's discretion, if she wants the defendant to have contact with the child, that can be done through a third party. We are also requesting some anger awareness, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. Our victim advocate indicated that Ms. Shelby would be on the Zoom, so I would ask the court to sound for Ms. Sakira Shelby.
She's how old?
She's 15, but we did think, given the circumstances, it might be appropriate for her to speak.
I hear some bigger. And how old is the defendant?
The defendant is currently 18.
Somebody better be careful. All right, is Miss Shelby on the line?
Jill, I got a question.
Yes.
That's the state. Do you got first arrest? I was just trying to get the history straight since the mama keep typing in the chat.
I had first arrest, but let me recheck that.
Okay. Just making sure. Okay.
So is this not him, or is this a Florida? She's talking about a first arrest in Georgia, or
yes, first arrest in Georgia is what I have seen.
But this Florida arrest is not him?
I'll look further into it while they talk.
Okay. And Miss Shelby, do you have an adult with you?
I don't currently have an adult with me. It's just me and my baby and my friend.
And you're 15 years old?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you spoken to the state's victim witness advocate?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I know they've been trying to reach you.
I've
I don't talk to people that I cannot see, but I do have some concerns that you're 15.
I did speak with Miss Shelby earlier this morning, and I spoke with her mom, and she gave us permission to speak with her.
Oh, you spoke to her mom. Who's
Yes.
speaking?
Iman Cheney, victim advocate.
You need to turn on your camera, Miss Shelby.
Yes, ma'am. My camera's on.
I normally don't allow people to come onto my camera with bags on their heads or scarves or things like that.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that. I wish I would have been told that beforehand.
Well,
never
you're
knew that.
coming to court. Would you walk into the courthouse with a bonnet on?
No, but
And
I
this
was
is-
also told I didn't have to turn my camera on.
Well, I don't know who could have told you that.
The prosecutor I was on the phone with, she told me I didn't have to speak or turn my camera on.
You don't have to
Okay,
speak.
well, you know what?
But
You
if
don't have to
wanna
talk.
speak-
Nobody told
Yeah.
you that.
Yeah.
Please move your camera so we can see your face and let the
Mhm.
court ask you some questions since you're here.
Okay. Do you want me to remove my bonnet?
Yes, please.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. I'm here now.
All
Can
right,
you
thank
hear me,
you.
ma'am?
I can see you and I can hear you. Raise your right hand for me. Do you affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Nothing but the truth.
Okay, thank you. You can put your hand down. And your mother, is she there in the room with you?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I heard some talking in the background and I didn't know if that was you or someone in the room with you.
Oh,
But
my baby and my friend are currently in the room with me. She's with my baby as I speak to you right now.
Oh, so she's babysitting the baby for you. Okay. All right. And the baby's how old?
He's 5 months.
Okay. Do you go to school?
As this school year started, not yet, but I start next week.
Great. I want you to get back in school. All right. Are you in fear of Mr. Harris?
Excuse me?
Are you in fear of Mr. Malik Harris?
I'm not in fear of him, but I know if an argument or anything comes up, that's what will happen again.
Right. Do you want to still have contact with him?
I mean, when it comes to my child, yes, but like, you know, if the same thing keeps happening over and over again, it might not work. So,
All right. So you don't want to be the victim of any more cases with Mr. Harris. Is that correct?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. I don't have any other questions. State, do you all have any questions?
Nothing from us, Your Honor.
And who's representing Mr. Harris?
Keith Cook, Your Honor.
Okay. You have any questions, Mr. Cook?
None of the witness, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Shelby, for your time. You can hang on and mute yourself. Those are all the questions I have for you at this point. Okay.
Excuse me?
Did you hear what I just said?
I'm sorry. The baby just tried to come in the room. So, he started screaming. Excuse me, what did you say?
I said you can mute yourself now. Those are all
Okay.
the questions I have, and you can continue to listen to the hearing if you'd like. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And Mom, I'm not going to, were you a witness to this incident? Yes or no?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm not going to be hearing from you since you're not a witness. This is a bond hearing. This is not his trial. And you're stating in the chat he's never been to Florida. I think they're looking into that to see if that was not his history. And this is his first arrest and not second arrest.
I went back
Pre-trial.
into the,
Yes.
I let pre-trial confirm, but I went back into the GCIC and I do see an arrest from Florida. Is his date of birth January 2005?
No, ma'am.
Oh, it says on the booking sheet, January 2006. I don't know. What is his birth date, Mom?
January 3rd, 2006.
2006. Okay.
Yes, it's 3rd though.
So look, the Florida charge was dismissed. I don't know if it's him or not. It's
No,
close, but just say if this is his first arrest, so we could just go off of that based on
Okay.
this stuff.
All right. Go ahead, PD Cook.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 18 years old. He's not currently working. So he has little income for a bond. Let me see. They do share a child together. They are not currently living together. This is his mother's address. And I think the alleged victim stated that she was no longer there. It's my understanding that she no longer is there. I don't think she ever lived there on a consistent basis. I believe she was in and out. We have no objection to no further contact. Certainly we would like him to go back to the Middleton Road address. That's where he lives. We would be asking for a signature bond at whatever level the court deems appropriate. Nothing further.
Is he a high school graduate or still in senior year or what?
He was in the 12th grade. I do not believe he has finished high school.
I do have some concerns. I have huge concerns for the victim's safety, and the victim obviously wants to be safe and not be the subject of any violence. And we certainly don't want it to escalate. And I'm glad and hope that they're not living together. And it sounds like that this young lady needs some supervision. She's only 15. I'm going to, and I do believe this testimony or the information from the state via the victim was this is not the first incident. Yeah. And there's been other incidents, and that alarms me.
Yes, Your Honor. The victim stated that's happened at least 6 or 7 times in the past, and the defendant told her you can call the police, but they're not going to do anything.
Right.
Your Honor, since I'm sorry, excuse me. Since they would be living in 2 different places, I mean, he'll go back to Middleton Road. She does not live there on any consistent basis, and so I don't know if that could be considered her residence. We have no objection to no further contact. We just don't want to stay away from him, from his home. As far as the child is concerned, I guess there could be a third transfer. I don't know if you would want that, but I'd leave that up to you. That those 2 awfully young folks were 5-month-old babies. So.
And we didn't ask for a stay away, so.
Okay.
All right, Miss Shelby, you have an address where you live separately?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, have you provided that to the victim witness advocate with the solicitor's office?
I haven't anybody haven't called me. I don't have a phone, so I haven't spoken to anybody about anything.
Can you borrow a phone and call in to the solicitor's office to speak to the advocate?
Your Honor, we've spoken
Yes,
with her this
ma'am.
morning.
Oh, you did? Oh, she
Yes.
doesn't remember. Oh, okay. They obviously have a way to contact you, I guess.
Yes, I believe through my mother.
Through your mother? Okay. And so is that where you're going to be staying, somewhere like that?
Yes, ma'am, until I start school.
Okay. We're trying to make sure that you're going to be safe and that you don't have to endure any more incidences with Mr. Harris. You all are connected because you have a child. But this is not a good look for this child. This child doesn't deserve to be in a violent relationship or situation with parents or anybody else for that matter. I'm going to order a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial. With that $4,000 signature bond through pretrial, I guess I'll put him at a level 1. I'm gonna order him to take a 2-week anger management course. Gonna order him to have no further contact right now with Miss Shelby. And I mean it, no contact. Stay 200 yards or 2 football fields away from her. If you see her coming, run the other way. And if she allows visitation, it's got to be handled by a third party. She probably shouldn't. But you don't need to talk to her for anything.
Your Honor, our
Right now.
understanding is that she's not living with her mother. She's 15 years old and she's got an infant. So I'm not sure that there would be an identifiable third party that could be responsible for the transfer of a child between these two individuals. And
Well,
the
if there's
child is
if there's
living
not
there.
one, if there's not one, then there will be no exchange. And mom wants to be that person, his mother.
I don't know if that would be appropriate.
I was getting ready to say, I don't know if I'm comfortable with that right now until this situation blows over or there's been some completion of the anger management courses so he can learn to deal with his anger. I think everybody needs to stay away and stay apart right now till this cools down. And make sure that everybody understands the importance of positive relationships and positive role models for this baby. So, Mom, I don't want you to be that third person right now. They can apply later for a bond modification if that needs to be the case.
He need a cosigner, Judge.
Mom, are you willing to co-sign on his bond?
Yes.
Okay. And
What
tell
do I
us
have to
your
do?
name. Yeah, give us your full name.
Michelle Harris.
Michelle Harris.
Yes.
Okay, it's 2 L's. I see it on the screen. Okay.
Do I go to pretrial?
Down at the jail, yes.
Okay.
They have a trailer down there. Is that correct, pretrial? They'll direct her where to go.
Yeah,
I think they do it. I think they do it. Well, so the rumor is they do it largely through a link now, so that she might not even have to, come down to cosign, but I guess somebody would have to pick him up. So one way or the other, I believe he has to do it. She'll
Is
have to
that
come-
not true pretrial or was that with probation?
PD should have the link.
Oh, okay, there's a link. Okay.
Okay.
So he'll get that link to you, Ms. Harris. They have your phone number, correct?
No, ma'am. Don't. He doesn't even have my number. I had just changed my number. Is there any way I could put it in the chat box and y'all give it to him?
Yes. Can you direct chat it to Mr. Cook and not to everybody in the chat?
Yes, ma'am. I will. Thank
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And Your Honor, it seems like the victim is indicating in the chat that her stuff is there and she had went to the house to get her stuff. So if we could just confirm with her, if her stuff is there, maybe she could get like a one-time police escort to just make sure everything that she has is out of that residence.
Right. I usually order that, I'm going to put in this order that the defendant and his mother will allow the victim to come with a law enforcement escort to get her items. I'm not liking what I'm seeing in the chat. It sounds like there's going to be some room here for more drama and it needs to stop.
I ain't on no drama. That's them making charges. All I said, she can't hear it. I don't understand how after she stayed out or they gone, did she come here and get my son?
Well, we're gonna order him to stay away from her, which means she's got to stay away from
She
there.
came to our location where we stayed. That's what I'm saying.
Right, and she needs to stay away from that location because she can't be around your son right now. They're gonna take a break. And Miss Shelby, are you listening to me? Miss Shelby.
Excuse me. Yes, I'm listening. And like I said, I was not in the house or any sort. So
Hold on. I'm not getting into the facts. I'm just gonna tell you what's gonna happen going forward. This is not the trial. I'm not getting into that. You're not to go over there. He's not to come where you are. He has to be 2 football fields away from you. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And because of that, you can arrange and if you need the victim witness advocates to help you with that, if you can arrange to have or you must arrange to have a police escort to go back to that location to get your items, do not go back there alone. Because I don't know.
Yes, ma'am, but I have packages and stuff coming in the mail over there because I was told I can get my stuff shipped over there by Malik Harris. So
I
what do I do
understand.
about that?
Then listen to me, and I want you to calm down a little bit. The way you're speaking to me is a little too aggressive for the judge. Okay.
I know, I'm very sorry. It's just folks are telling stories and yeah.
Okay,
But
but I want
I'm
you to
so
calm
sorry.
down. I want you to be calmer. So when your packages come, we have an adult there, which is Miss Harris, and she's going to act like an adult. And she's going to hold those packages that you already had to come there. And then she's going to, I guess you'll have to make a call to you, or who would she let know about these packages so that you can go back all at once with a police escort to pick up your packages?
I'm not sure if she has my mom's number, but she can call my mom.
She can call your mother. She had Miss Harris. You have her mother's number. You do, Miss Harris.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you all be adults here and help these young people out and call her mother and say, hey, there's some packages here. I would like to get them to you, and you and her mother meet up to exchange the packages. Would you do that for me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We need to calm this down, and we need to try to teach or show these kids how to act. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
As much as you may not want to, but you have to. You know, the facts are the facts, and they're here. Because I don't want anybody else to end up down here in jail. I'm going to put on your son's bond condition that he needs to, you yourself, Miss Shelby, that he needs to go back to school or apply and get his GED. Because he has a baby to take care of.
Yeah, he was gonna finish. He got a couple more credits to get this year. He's gonna do that this year and then attend the army.
Oh, so he's on track to graduate.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So either one, put that in the order that he should either go to school and finish to graduate or get his GED. So he's got to stay away. He should not be posting on social media, talking about Miss Shelby to anyone. He should not be calling her. He should not be talking about her to third parties or having anybody else to reach her on his behalf. He is to have no contact right now. No further contact. And if she allows visitation with the child, she's got to find a friend or a relative or somebody other than you, Miss Harris, to exchange that child. If it can't happen, it just won't happen. He'll miss seeing his child for a few months until we get back into court and modify the bond order. All right. And no unprescribed drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I believe that should be it. And I did say 2-week anger management. Yes. He's got to take that to pretrial and he has to report in at a level 1.
Miss
And I
Harris,
think
if you
that's
could,
it.
I'm sorry, you're right. Miss Harris, if you could get that to me in the link before the session ends, that would be your phone number.
Going forward, no probation matter is deferred by the judicial officer. No it's scheduled by the clerk of staff.
I don't know how to just share it to you, sir.
You see a pull down in that blue box, it should be a pull down and you can select Keith Cook. If you click on the blue box,
Okay.
and
Okay, I
you
see.
scroll down, you see it now? You have the number, Mr. Cook? It's Keith.Cook is what it says.
What's that?
I've got it. I've got it. Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, that'll conclude this case. Who's that with Motorola that keeps unmuting? That I haven't given permission to speak? All right. Moving along, that's the end of this case. Good luck to you all.